Hello friends, so today we'd like to learn about HTML. Last time we've been learning about web development itself. What is it? It was just a brief introduction. So now we're getting into coding. So before we start writing code, we have also to understand a little bit of theory. What is HTML and how it works? Then after understanding that a concept, it will be easier for you to implement while writing code, and you'll be writing what you understand or what you know. So today I'd like to learn about what is HTML itself. What is it? Right. So let's get started. Okay, so HTML is something simple and something that can be understood. So HTML is an abbreviation, right, which stands for Hypertext Markup Language, right? So HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, right? So it's the language that is used by web developers to structure web pages, right? Because a website is a collection of different web pages, right? That defines, for example, the purpose of the company or the products the company is selling, right? Also, those products are put on a web page. So the structure of that web page was defined by Hypertext Markup Language or HTML, right? So it is of much importance to break down this abbreviation, right, so that it can be understood. So hypertext, right? Hypertext refers to links that connects different web pages to another. For example, you have visited a particular web page, right? Then there are a lot of links. Or instance, for example, if you go to YouTube, then you see different links, right? Maybe they link to a certain blog, right, that has been written by somebody else. So if you click that link, you'll be directed to that specific blog. Then you see what's there. Or if you visit a particular website, there will be many links that you click, and those links enables you to navigate the web, the website itself, and the web in itself. So hypertext is just refers to links that connects web pages or websites themselves. Then markup, it's all about marking up how a text or an image or any type of content on the web page should be displayed, right, on the browser, right? It's just, you are just marking up, you're just determining how the text of your article or the image of yourself, how it must be displayed in a browser or on a browser, which is the part of markup. The language actually is just, when it comes to programming or when it comes to coding, refers to like statements or expressions that are used to communicate, or that are used or that are understood by a computer. It's just a way of communication, a way that you use to communicate with your computer, writing different statements or expressions, telling the computer what to do. So it is my hope that you have understood what is exactly HTML, right? Let me recap. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It is used to structure web pages. Hypertext, we're referring to links that links different web pages. Markup, we're just telling the computer how a text or image must be displayed on the browser. Language refers to a way of communication or expressions that a computer understands, right, and implement. So let us see a very good example. Right, now we have got this structure to my extreme left. You see, this is a building, is a structure in itself is not yet finished, right? So imagine this is HTML hypertext markup language. We've structured our building. This is what we want our building to be, right? To look like the structure. We want the structure to look like this, right? So we've determined, right, that there must be windows, there must be steps, there must be this type of roof, right, etc. So we've structured our building that we want to live in, or we want to put our products inside it, whatever purpose, but we've structured it. So that is the purpose of HTML. It enables developers to structure the web in itself. Then if you go to my right, you see this is a web page in itself, and it contains blogs or articles that have been written, right? It's just the random text that I've put there for the purposes of demonstration. So you see, this is the title, my blogs, right? So the title of this article, the first article is what is HTML. Then the second title of the article is how HTML works. So this is these are my articles, right? So I've structured that I need 2 articles, and the heading must be bold, right, and must be bigger than the text, right? And I've put also this heading, and the article goes below the title itself, the title of the article. Then if you see here, with these are the 2 buttons. This is add post button, enables you to add a post. Then publish is a button that enables you to publish your post so that it can be viewed by different people across the internet. So now we've structured how our blog application must look. So perhaps you're creating a blog, so you have to structure it, how it must look, how the users are going to interact with it, right? So what must be there? We need buttons to edit the blog. We need the button to publish the blog. We need the title so that the users can see what this article is all about. So we put this title here, what is HTML. We put another title here, then we put the text here. So now we have structured our blog that we're going to be publishing, the blog we are developing. So basically this is how HTML works. The purpose of HTML is all about structuring the web page in itself. That's how web developers use it. So it is my hope that this has been understood. Okay, now let us move on looking at the history of HTML in itself. Right. So now we have understood, right, what is HTML, but it is of much significance for us now to have a little bit of history, right, concerning this particular language that we use as developers to structure our web pages. So this hypertext markup language was developed by Sir Tim Berners-Lee in 1991, and it was then officially published around 1995. So Tim is known as the father of web. In other words, he is the one behind web. He designed, or he created web. Why he came up with that idea? He was a physicist at a European laboratory. So there were a lot of researches that were being done, and a lot of researchers were there. So there was no a way, right? There had been no a way of communication or of sharing information between researchers, right? And collaboration was not that effective. So Tim now thought of an idea or of a solution to solve this problem, right? So because of that, he created the web, and he created a way to share information on the web, and then he created hypertext markup language, or HTML, right? So instead of computers or machines one machine, right, to keep information, right? He wanted that information to be shared among computers, right? So a lot of researches to be shared among researchers, they must collaborate, right? So he wanted to make that easier. Then he developed that technology. So that HTML hypertext markup language enabled people to now to convert any document to a file that can be viewable, or that can be viewed on the internet, right? So this is a little bit history of HTML itself. So now we have understood the history. Now let us move on to the versions. Just a brief intro discussion, or a brief explanation of the versions, right, up to today. So we have HTML 1.0, which was released around 1993, and this was only intended to share data or information, right, that can be viewable, or that can be viewed and accessed or accessible via a browser. So that time, this particular technology had the ability to link documents, pages, right, using what we call hypertext reference, right? This one, which enables us to create the links, right, that links to different pages we have on our website. But it was very unfortunate that this was in its early stages, so there had been no support for tables that we have today, canvas, audio, video, etc. So it was during the early days of this particular technology. Then we move on to HTML 2.0, which was published around 1995, and it has all HTML 1.0 features and other additional features that were added to it. So this version now brought the concept of forms, right? You're going to see what we call forms, right, whereby the user can fill, right, and we take that data which the user is provided. So we have checkbox, we have buttons, we have input fields. You're going to see this. Then also the concept of tables, to put data or to organize data in tabular format. Then also we move on. The technology was advancing, the language was being improved. So HTML 3.0 was developed around 1997, and HTML tags were developed further, right? For example, with this particular tag, right, with article, main, etc. A lot of tags were developed, and also it is during this time where we see the support of CSS, and you're going to learn this. CSS stands for cascading style sheet. So we have structured our website, but now if we go back to the example that I have mentioned about the articles or blogs, it wasn't looking good, right, because we did not put the styles. So cascading style sheet, right, is a way of styling our web pages to look good, right? For example, if you visit YouTube, if you visit a particular website, it looks very nice. So the support for that styling came during the HTML 3.0 version, right, with the support of superscripts and subscripts, etc. Then also we move on to the HTML 4.1, which was developed around 1999, and this also as well expanded. We see the expansion of CSS, cascading style sheet support, and this. So during version 3.0, we see the support of cascading style sheet, but the usage of that particular language was different as time goes by, because during that time that language was used, right, together with HTML. It was being embedded, on the page in itself. So that was a problem because of the concept, what we call the separation of concerns, right? So that problem was solved in HTML 4.1, whereby we see the support of external files, right? External cascading style sheets, whereby you create a separate file for the styles of your website or of your web page. Then you link that page that contains the styles that you need your website to consume. Then it works something like that, and you're going to see how that works. So we see that support of external files in HTML 4.1. Then we see also the introduction or the development of another version of HTML, which was released around 2000, which is called XHTML, right? So this actually stands for Extensible Hypertext Markup Language. Extensible Hypertext Markup Language is just an extension of HTML, right? And we are not going to be focusing on this because we're only focusing on HTML itself, but it's just an extension of HTML in itself. Then the last version we have, or the latest version that we do have, is HTML5, right? This is the best, or the latest version we have, which was released in 2014, and this improved also user interactivity because we have the support of audios, we have the support of canvas, we have the support of videos, we have also the support of emails, password, and also we have the support of semantic tags such as sections, articles, aside, etc. main, because these tags they have meaning, right? So for example, if you structure a website, you structure it in sections or in articles, maybe you want to create a blog, these tags have a meaning. You can easily find out that this section contains the articles of this particular web page, which is fantastic. Then also it provides full support of JavaScript, right, to run in the background. So HTML5 actually brought the support for JavaScript, and JavaScript actually is just a programming language that is used to put functionality to web applications or to websites. So it allows that to run in the background whilst the website is open or is being used by clients or end users. So that was the history and the versions of HTML5, of HTML up to HTML5. Then why do we need HTML? The first reason is to enable us as developers to structure the web pages. Then, right, so it enables the creation of web pages, and also it enables us to do what is called internet navigation, because we want to navigate the internet in itself. So in order for us to navigate internet, we need information. We need to go from one page to another, from one particular resource to another. So this enables us using what I've mentioned, hypertext, which is a text that refers to other pages or other websites, right? Then also it's in open source, it's free of charge, so that is another advantage. And also it is simple to understand and simple to use, right? So is another reason why we use HTML and why we need it as developers. Then also it has high loading speed, right? It doesn't contain much data or megabytes, just in kilobytes, and also it is simple, right? And it takes a few minutes, a few seconds for the browser to load web pages. And also we can talk of all browser compatibility, which increases accessibility. So most of the browsers, if not all, support this hypertext markup language, and also it facilitates easiness in updating and the maintenance of websites, since I mentioned that this is simple and easy to use and it's understandable. So it is easier for the developers to maintain a website, to maintain a web app, or even updating a web application. And also we can talk also of another advantage of using HTML is offline usage, because nowadays perhaps there are some users who have difficulties when it comes to data or to access internet. So now browser store the information once the website is loaded. It store the information of the particular website or web page. Then now developers find a way to make the web applications work offline while the user is disconnected or is offline. So HTML itself has that, HTML5 has that mechanism, which is very fantastic. So these are some of the reasons why it is fundamental for us to use HTML, and why we have to understand it, and why we have to use it. So that's it. I think it has been understood and very simple. What is HTML, why we need it, the history of HTML, the versions of HTML. So for now we have a little bit of background, a little bit of understanding concerning this particular language. So now you are good to go to write the code itself, to learn how now that particular language works and how to use it, which is the main purpose of learning. So thank you so much for watching this. I hope to see you in the next video.